Hey Quilties, Karen Marchetti here. Several people have asked about using the Elevate for more than just edge-to-edge patterns. I've put this little video together to share how you can use your Elevate for custom quilting by simply using the block feature. We are primarily going to focus on using the stitch again and relocate functions. Don't worry, it's not as difficult as it sounds. I'll show you and then repeat it a time or two, and then you'll have it. With a little patience and practice, you'll be creating some custom work with your Elevate too. Okay, we're gonna work on Elevate, doing some custom quilting. I'm working on this double wedding star. So what I'm doing right now is I'm lining up the very center of this block on both those seams. I'm just using my needle because I don't have my laser on. So then on my screen, I'm going to choose block. And we're going to pick out a boundary. Sorry about that, guys. We're going to pick out a boundary, and it's not really, it doesn't have to be perfect, because as we move this around, we're going to rotate the quilting design multiple times. So this boundary is only for the first time to get it sized right. After that, it really won't matter. Oh, sorry about that. The camera's trying to focus on the machine. Come right back to that center. Add our point. Okay. So now we're going to go add our pattern. Select the pattern. Say okay. It's tiny, huh? Well, good thing we have the ability to edit it. So we're going to hit edit. We're going to rotate. And then we're going to resize. And I'll hit fit to margin first, just to see. And that's still a little small. So we can use these little points to drag and drop it around. That's a little bit too big. And I'm just tweaking it ever so slightly. All right, I think that's good. You could spend hours tweaking it, but it fits in there, looks good. Just zoom in. It should be right on the point. We'll say okay. And make sure again, that's right in the center, and it is. So I'll press start. It's gonna say, make sure needle's up, press continue. And then we'll pull up our bobbin thread. We'll say continue. Snip those threads, and we'll let it stitch. Okay, so it says stitching complete, like it normally does. So we're just going to say continue. So now I'm going to say stitch again, and I'm going to press edit, and I want to press rotate, and I'll say okay, and then I'm going to say relocate, and then I'm going to mark my needle location. And it tells you everything about the Elevate is so easy. It tells you you're going to drag your crosshairs. So we'll drag those up there, and I zoomed in. You can use your little arrows to get it perfect. So once it's perfect, I'm going to say okay. Now the machine thinks that we moved the machine, and we did not, because we wanted to just stitch on this side. So it's going to actually, when I press continue, it's going to think we need to pull up the bobbin thread, and we don't. So I'll just let it do its thing, and then I'll press continue, and it will start stitching. Okay, so it finished stitching, and I like to take 2 more little locking stitches. That's just personal preference. It's locked. It's just my OCD kicking in. So then I'm gonna tie off, pull up my bobbin thread, cut the threads, and then I'll say continue. So now we're gonna move down the quilt to the next set of blocks, or the next set of triangles. And we're gonna find that center again. Okay. It'll be easier if I just put my laser on. So there it is, the center. And now we're going to rotate again. Well, stitch again and relocate and rotate. So we'll press stitch again and then edit, rotate. Do the bottom one first. Okay, so I rotated it. I say okay, and now I'll press relocate, mark needle. Now because we only rotated it from the same point, the needle is exactly where it needs to be. So I'll say okay, and I'll press start. So this time we really have to pull up our bobbin thread, because we moved the machine head. Okay, so I'll say continue. Let it tie off. Okay, so again, we're gonna stitch it again. So we'll say continue, stitch again, edit, rotate, say okay, relocate, mark needle. Then we'll drag our crosshairs, zoom in so we can see. Use our arrow keys. And then say okay, start. It'll take that stitch because it thinks that we moved ahead and we did not. So we'll say continue. And again, it's done. I'll take my 2 extra locking stitches, bring up my bobbin thread, and then we'll do it one more time to make sure you get it. Okay, say continue so that we end that one. Move the machine over to the next one, line up our center. Okay, I'm going to say stitch again, edit, rotate. We're going to do this one first. We'll say okay, and then again a relocate. Now we're on the same plane, so it should still be there. It is. We'll say okay. We'll say start. Pull up our bobbin thread. Now these two aren't perfect, so I'm actually going to take another little stitch just to move it over so that it's in the center of the next block. And I'll say continue, and I'll say stitch again, edit, rotate, say okay, and then I'll do the relocate, mark my needle location, and then drag my crosshairs. Zoom in so I get it perfect. And then say okay. It thinks it's pulling up the bobbin. Press continue and let it stitch. My 2 extra locking stitches, pull up my bobbin thread, and on my screen I'll say continue, and then I will continue moving this over and finish out the rest of these. Just thought you'd like that to see how I do it. And then after I'm done all the computerized stitching, of course I'll come back in here and ditch all of this, as well as all of her piecing will get ditched as well. And then I'll do a dense fill around this because that's what she wanted. I just wanted you to see how easy it is to use the Elevate to do some custom quilting. I hope you enjoyed. Take care.